Hey everybody, welcome back to My Wings of Refuge. I'm so excited today. I'm so excited because I have wanted to make cowboy candy for a long time, and I had this wonderful friend who's actually a friend of my husband's. He messaged him this week and said, hey, I would like to mail you a bunch of my homegrown jalapenos. He's from North Carolina, y'all. The answer is always yes, yes, and oh yes. And so I was so excited. And they are gorgeous. So today we're going to candy them into some cowboy candy. Jalapenos candied. Yes, candied jalapenos. I just have to say this, y'all, check out the shirt here. Is that not cool or what? I have to tell you, my niece is an amazing artist, and her name is Jessica, and she actually painted this painting of my Daisy, my chicken, my warrior Daisy, and she surprised me by mailing me the actual painting. And then later I discovered, she let me know that in her Etsy shop you can order prints of paintings that she has done, but now you can get those prints also in t-shirts. Oh yeah, thank you, Jessica. I'll put a link in the bio in case anyone's interested in a shirt or a painting. Are you ready to make some cowboy candy? Some candied jalapenos? Let's get started. Okay, so here's our gorgeous jalapenos. Do you see here these little slit marks here, these little slit marks here, these little marks here? Do you know what that means? I actually learned this recently, and it has proven to be true for me, that these little marks here, when you get these, this means this jalapeno is actually going to be very hot. I don't know if you've actually had different jalapenos. Some jalapenos, they're really not created equally because some of them are so mild, you could eat like tons of them and your mouth will never burn. And then some of them, you can take one bite and go, oh my goodness, they're hot. Okay, so these with these little slits on them, this means they're going to be very hot jalapenos. So since we know these to be really hot jalapenos, I'm actually going to wear gloves. It really usually doesn't bother me to cut these up, but I'm just not going to take any chances because I've got quite a few to cut here. You can cut these in many different ways, but I am choosing to hand slice them and taking off the tops. Aren't these gorgeous? So while I was cutting them up, as the little seeds start to stick to your gloves or your hand or the knife, you can rake them over into a plate and save those, let them dry out, and you can plant them next year. Okay, so we got all our peppers all cut up and ready, and we're ready now to get started and get this show on the road. So we want 6 cups of sugar. And then we want 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. With the mother is preferred. I'll do everything with the mother. Okay, then we want a ½ teaspoon of turmeric. And a ½ teaspoon of celery seeds. Okay, so next we want 3 teaspoons of garlic, granulated type of garlic. 2, 3. And we want 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Okay, so I've got my jars. I've turned the heat up so they can get boiling and simmering, because I want them to be in there and bubbling for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And then here we have all of our ingredients, and I'm just going to crank up the heat on this. I'm going to turn it up to high because we want to bring this to a boil, and then as soon as it boils, we're going to cut our heat back and keep it at a simmer for a good 5 minutes. So we've got a nice rumbling boil here, and I'm just going to turn the temperature down to about a medium so that this will only simmer for 5 minutes. Isn't this gorgeous? Okay, we're going to crank our heat back up really high. Get this boiling really good again. And then we're going to toss in our beautiful jalapenos. Now we have our jalapenos in here, and we're going to let it come to another hard boil. And as soon as it's boiling really hard, we'll cut the temperature back again and let it simmer for 4 minutes. So we have a really hard boil now, and I've cut the temperature way back to low, and we're going to let it simmer for 4 minutes. Okay, so our timer is off, and we're going to get our jars out and ready. So now that this is hot, what we're going to do is you can use either a slotted spoon or a screen, and we're going to scoop them out and put them in our jars. We're going to leave the liquid for right now. So while our jars sit here for just a moment, we're going to crank up the heat to high. We're going to let this come to a hard boil for 6 minutes. Then we'll pour it in our jars. It's been 6 minutes and I'm turning off the heat. And now we're going to ladle this hot syrup into our jars. This is exciting! 1/4 inch headspace. going to take a wet paper towel with the vinegar on it, and we're going to go around and make sure these rims are clean. Anything that gets left on the rims could cause them not to seal. You don't want to go to this kind of trouble making something this delicious when the lids don't seal. But if you have one that doesn't seal, you can just put it in the refrigerator. But I want them to seal. And then our rings just finger tight. And as soon as it comes to a rumbling boil, we will set our timer. Since we're using the half-pint jars, we will set our timer for 10 minutes. After it comes to a rolling boil. So we had a little bit of our syrup left over, and it's one of those things you don't want to waste. This will taste absolutely amazing. You can pour it over meat, you can pour it over cheese, you can use it as a dip. You don't want to waste this, trust me. So I'm just going to pour this into a jar. I actually have enough for 2 jars. Okay, so our timer has gone off. It has been the 10 minutes. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the heat off, and I'm just going to raise these jars right here and let them sit until everything cools down just a little. You hear that popping? I'm just going to let them sit here and cool just a little before I even get them out. And listen to that glorious sound. So there was a lot of juice left over. These jars are really hot, but I jarred them and I'm going to save them. I'm going to put them in my refrigerator after they cool down, and I'm going to make sure I keep them because they will be so divine also. Don't let that go to waste. It's like liquid gold. So y'all, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it. I know you're going to absolutely love this cowboy candy, but after you let this cool, you want to wait for about 4 weeks before you actually enjoy it. This will give the jalapenos a chance to plump back up. It's going to give those flavors a chance to meld really well. If you can wait, you'll be glad you did. Enjoy, and don't forget, give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. Thanks so much, y'all. Have a great day.